I'm chopped to oblivion right now, but what is going on, everybody? Today, first day on the 150K Express accounts. We passed these 150K Express accounts in 2 days. 2 days. So, this was the first day on them. So, we're three in a row. We're 3 for 3 on the week. I came back Tuesday from vacation, and then Wednesday, we took our first trade here. Second trade, and now we passed them, and this was day one. So we made 5K on the top steps, the fresh top steps. So we're now up 1,000 across 5 Express accounts, as you can see. So let's get into today. My bias was bullish, and let's talk about why. So overall, the hourly time frame was what was telling me the majority. Specifically, if we go over here to the 4-hour, we were respecting this gap. And hourly wise, we were just doing an absolutely incredible job of inversing this gap and displacing. So what did I want to see it open? To take a trade at open, I wanted to see us retrace into this lower gap. So we had 2 hourly fair value gaps here. And I said, okay, there's totally a possibility we get continuation longs at open. We accumulate, maybe we manipulate down to the hourly. A lot of people were asking me about this top hourly, and the reason why I didn't take it is it's just too premium. If I want to take an AMD setup at open, it has to be perfect, and for me, the manipulation leg would not be perfect unless it retraced into an actual clean level. So this was not enough of a manipulation leg for me, but as you can see, I'll draw out this lower, or this higher fair value gap here. And what ends up happening, let me make sure my mic's working. What ends up happening at open is, here we go. So here's open in a second. Okay, so we accumulate crazy at open, or right before open. And then what happens? We shoot down and we get a setup here that I'm sure a lot of people took. But as you can see, we barely missed that lower hourly gap. We missed it by about 8 points. So I was like, listen, maybe we get a fake out here. We get a manipulation leg or something. And we go lower for that lower gap. But sadly, that just never ended up happening. So we pumped. Great AMD setup off open. It just wasn't what I wanted to see. So that's unfortunate. And then if I'm being honest with you guys, today was one of my worst trading days mentally, because I just felt very, for lack of a better term, impatient today. So here's why. We opened up this 15-minute gap at 10 a.m., right? Which is perfect. I love 10 a.m. AMD models. So as you can see, we go over here. Let's get to 10 a.m. real quick. So this 15-minute gap is opened up. 10 a.m. we had news. So we had the data high and the data low of the 10 a.m. candle here. We sell off into our 15-minute, and I'm like, okay, if we could get this reversal for this 1-minute inverse, this will be absolutely perfect. There's nothing I would want more than this. Take it to data highs 1-to-1. But what happened? We just continued to sell off, and we actually ended up inversing this 15-minute to the downside. And what did we do when we inversed this 15-minute to the downside? Well, we also, while inversing this, inversed a 5-minute gap. And I said, listen, if the AMD model isn't working, then I'm sure we just want to go lower. So I hopped in here on a 5-minute, which just isn't my model at all. I was purely going off discretion, and I wanted to see that unfilled hourly get tapped. And I ended up just going break even basically immediately. It obviously ends up playing out, but we're going to talk about why it ended up playing out, right? So it ended up playing out for a very specific reason. So what happens? We inverse this 15, but then what happens? Very simple. Let me go to the first trade I took, wherever the fuck it is. Okay, so what ends up happening here with this whole AMD shit, we open up another 15-minute gap right here. Now, what do I want to see? I want to see us manipulate into this 15-minute gap now that it's opened up, right? So, here we go. Let me delete this. So, we're delivering out of an hourly gap to get us our sells. And we just made a BPR. What is a BPR? It's when we inverse a gap while also opening a fair value gap. So we inverse this 15-minute, proving that we have bearish structure now, bearish order flow. So now we want to retrace into the 15-minute and then sells down to this hourly fair value gap. So what happens? Well, we accumulate until the 15-minute opens up, which was at 10:30, right? So what happens right at 10:30? Here's 10:30. What do you know? We shoot right into the fucking gap. So then, what do we form? We form an internal SMT. As you can see, we never take out this high on this candle, but it's taken out right here on NQ. Very, very barely, but it is taken out. So we have an internal SMT. We're expecting a 15-minute BPR. We have accumulation and then manipulation right at 10:30 into a gap. And then 2 1 minutes here. I got in quite early because we inversed this first 1 minute and then we started selling off through this one. So I got a little, I was like, listen, I'm going to just fucking, what's it called? Let me mark this out. I'm going to just get in pretty early because I like the momentum. I like the reaction. We had equal lows down here. Now, I wanted to leave a runner for the unfilled hourly gap, but I ended up getting hit on my trailing. I ended up making, 1,000, which is more than I usually make. So, what do you know? We smash the equal lows. I'm not red for a single second. And then we hold this fair value gap. And we go even lower down to the hourly gap. So, if my runners didn't get hit trailing, it would have went for over 2.5 RR, more like 2.8. But this is a beautiful setup. AMD model. 15-minute respect, internal SMT, continuation setup. Great momentum close, equal lows below, and an unfilled hourly as our external draw. This is an A+ setup, and it didn't happen until 10:35, right? So, for me personally, I was just off my game today. One thing that I just skipped over was I actually tried to long right here for no reason, and it ended up working, but I went break even on it because I just didn't like the trade. And to be honest, I was just not in a good headspace today. I forced that, and I'm lucky to come out green as fuck because I think this long trade was fucking stupid, even if it ends up working. I took the long because I was like, okay, we're respecting an hourly gap. We're respecting like some hourly on ES, and I felt that maybe this was a manipulation leg, and now we would retrace. But doing that after we've inversed the 15 to the downside and are about to open up a 15 as well, just a dumb trade. So annoyed at myself for that, but I'm very lucky that I was able to conquer that, go break even on those, and then get this set up. So I'm happy with that for sure. Very, very good trade. Obviously, the external draw got hit. Didn't even get break even on it, but, my trailing fucked me a little bit, but it's all good. Still made a fuck ton, so I'm happy with it. Very, very good trade. Very happy with this one. I'm posting the execution on Instagram and TikTok, and yeah, so I ended up ending this week 3 for 3. We go to our journal. I had, obviously my last day back was 225. Now I come back 311 for my first trade. We get an AMD, called it immediately. Great AMD model with an SMT. Does this look familiar to you? Okay, now what is this? This is just a continuation setup. Does it look familiar? And what is this? It's an AMD with a continuation. Really just a fucking very simple system that if you execute it every day, will bang for you. Stay consistent. Don't overcomplicate your trading. I trade the same shit every single day at the same time, and it's been working. We're up 3.5 RR on the week, some shit like that. So I'm very happy. Good start past these accounts. Got them in a good buffer. So now I'm going to try to keep building these up and hopefully try to get a payout on them maybe before the end of the month, but more likely than not, it'll probably be at the beginning of April. But we'll see. All right, peace.